Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Ashley Bass Mitchell. Excited to have her here again from Perpetual Butterfly. What are we talking about? Yeah, it's her company. She's the life coach and she has so much to offer. We were really excited to have her back on the podcast as well as the Zoomcast today. So, Ashley, let me first start off by asking you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ashley Bass Mitchell. I'm so excited to be here. I am the owner and founder of Perpetual Butterfly, which is a life coaching company for individuals using families to help with, pursuing your dreams, looking into the things that your goals, putting action plans together, figuring out what next steps are like, and what's needed to support you in obtaining those next steps.
Got it. And you're you're in North Carolina, right? But do you work in person or just virtually?
Right now it's just virtually. And then I do have a youth group. The youth group is in person, but outside of that, everything else is kind of done virtually.
All right. And how do we find you? What is your website, contact number, social media pages, anything we need to know?
You can go to perpetualbutterflyab.org. You can email me at abass, A-B as in boy, A-S-S, at perpetualbutterflyab.org, or you can find me at Perpetual Butterfly AB on social medias.
All right. Well, since this is our first Zoom, I think it's important to kind of reestablish everything. And it's good for our listeners, of course, to get to know you personally. Would you share a little bit of your backstory with us before we get into the current work that you're doing and able to help? And yeah, I think it's good to get to know you again.
Absolutely. So I am Ashley. I'm a mother of three. I am a professional. I work along with having and being an entrepreneur. And
how old are the kids? Hold on.
They are 5, 7, and 16. So my house is always a great adventure.
I'm sure. Yes.
And so they're in second grade, first grade, and high school, 11th grader. Everybody's all doing their own individual things. And, with that, there's wearing so many different hats, being a professional entrepreneur, mom, sister. I have an older sister and a younger brother. My brother is 13 years younger than I am. My sister is 21 months older than I am. So, I wear so many different hats. And one of the things that was important for me, and one of the things that helped to birth Perpetual Butterfly, was the importance of being an individual with all those different hats. Don't forget who you are, your core, your dreams, your goals, the things that you're trying to do, along with taking care of everything else and everyone else around you.
That's what we always try to do, overdo it. As moms, I get it. Mine are 6 and 8. Back to school feels good, right? Well, they started about in August. You go back a little earlier, so you're already in the swing of things. All right. Well, let's talk what brought you into the life coaching field. I know you mentioned you learned a lot from your parents, right? They were big into faith. Could you share a little bit about them?
Absolutely. I was raised, my mom and dad were in the home, along with my sister and I. Then my brother, of course, came years later. And, it was just interesting finding myself as I went to college, went and got involved with life experiences, things of that nature, got married, got divorced, figured out how to be like a single mom. So many different things happened. And, they were a big part of that process of learning how to take your feelings, put them in your pocket, and make sure that you kind of go and push through experiences that you're going through, whatever challenge you're facing, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're doing, pray about it, but also, push through it. And one of the things that in my family we did not talk about, which is one of the things that I do find important with Perpetual Butterfly, is yes, take those feelings, put them in your pocket, and face that challenge. But also don't forget to pull them back out and explore. That didn't feel good, or that felt amazing. Yeah. I feel really empowered. I feel whatever I may feel all of those different things, so that you can bring your whole self to the situation. You can bring yourself out of the situation, and that helps you grow from that situation.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's get to it now. The work that you're doing as a life coach, could you share a little bit about, what are the things you're doing? What are some type of things you can help people with? Let's start.
So there's a variety of different things that happen with Perpetual Butterfly. It's an encompassing company. I do individual life coaching sessions. I am your accountability partner, your cheer coach, whatever you need me to be. We have those different conversations. I'm trying to fix this goal. I need to drop these balls. I just need a safe space to just talk and just be and just say whatever in a judgment-free way. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm asking you let's put this all out here and shift through it. Because we don't ever, when we tell our stories, sometimes we often, never know where to start or never know where it ends. And so with me, I'm like, well, let's just start in the middle. What do you remember? What are you thinking about most right now?
Yeah.
What does that look like? You want to have a more fulfilling life. What would that look like? What would your best day look like? How would it include? What time would you get up? What time would you go to sleep? What would those things be like? And how do you think that you can take steps towards achieving that goal with what you're already doing? We have those different conversations with the individual life coaching sessions. You get a free consultation at first, and then after that, we have the life coaching sessions. You can sign up for a membership. I also do public speaking where we go and do workshops. And so I do go to different organizations and have conversations about team environment, wellness, how to work together, how to be accepting of everybody's differences, things of that nature within the workshop. So that's available as well.
Beautiful.
Then within those conversations, sometimes in some of the conversations, I'm like, I just want to try something different. I want to do something new. Okay, well, does that mean like, let's go to the park? Because I don't normally have time to go and take a walk that day. Or do you want to go on a cruise and go across the country and see something different and be somewhere you haven't been? So a part of the services that are offered is also traveling services or activities. There's a web on my page. You can click on a link and they'll talk about different activities that's happening in your area. So you can feel what's comfortable for you to be able to step outside of those comfort zones and step out where you want to be. And if you're not quite sure where to start, that's what I'm here for. You want to plan a trip? Let's do that together. You want to talk about what type of things that you want to do. For me, I went to Puerto Rico by myself, solo traveler. I did ATVing, I went on a kayak, I went on a canoe, I went and did zip lining. And these were all things that I hadn't experienced, and I wanted to be able to do it. And I was able to take that and bring it back. And so there's just a variety of different things. Some people just want to go, and I just want to relax. I want to get away from it all. I want to take a mom break. Let's do that. Let's have that conversation and figure out how we can achieve that goal for you and move things forward. Additionally, Perpetual Butterfly has a youth group called the Youth Empowerment Partnership Program. And this is a program where we talk about different things that are going on, real life activities. Last year was a lot of shootings that were going on. Well, we had a lot of conversations about what does it take for you to feel safe now? What did that look like? What did that feel like? What do you need to hear? What do you need to see? What's an action plan that we can put together? You can't plan for things to happen, for someone to just kind of be having a bad day or to kind of come and do whatever. But what you can do is have a plan in place. Unfortunately, we live in a world. My daughter has been in school about 5 weeks, and 4 of those weeks there was a shutdown. Just, nothing has happened, nothing transpired, thank God. But every time she texts me, Mom, this is a shutdown. I'm like, okay, where are you at? What are you doing? If I need to come get you, where's the location of that? Do you have your volume turned down? Do you have your lights turned down? We go through a little checklist of everything, just, really quickly, so that we can make sure that as we can have her as safe as possible and she can remain calm and in control during those times. So just a lot of those different conversations, along with after we have our meeting or trainings or whatever is happening within that particular day or month, we go and play and just have a good time. Go be free to be free. Go do whatever it is we need to do. We've went to Sky Zone, or we've gone to different, parts of the community. We do volunteer work, just a lot of different things to be able to give back to the community, feel safe in the community, and just feel heard as well and utilize your voice.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Wow, there's a lot to you. So how do we contact you for the youth group, for the life coaching? Just share all the specific ways we can reach you.
So you can call me at 919-808-4618. You can email me at abass@perpetualbutterfly.org. That's PERPETUALBUTTERFLYAB.org. Pretty long email, as well as go to the website. All of the information is on the website, perpetualbutterfly.org. You can go there and receive whatever you may be looking for, and just kind of get in contact with me directly, and I can help navigate you to where we're trying to go.
Got it. And also you're on Facebook and Instagram as well, correct?
And TikTok.
Oh, fancy. I don't even do TikTok. My kids have it. It's under my name, but I don't even use it. Just one of those things I just haven't picked up yet. But no, that's where they say it's at these days. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the people you're working for, because a lot of us working with, I should say, people feel stuck. People want to move on career-wise. People, you mentioned mothers that you work with. It's hard to balance life, career, children, raising a family. And explain the difference what a life coach does compared to a mental health professional, because some people may always get confused. They always ask me that. Well, why shouldn't I see a mental health counselor? What's the difference?
Absolutely. So with a mental health professional, the therapist, they are looking to diagnose you. They are trying to, they can give medications, they can um, handle with like anxiety, depression. They deal with those specific diagnoses. A life coach does not diagnose you. They are not there for that particular process. A life coach is your accountability partner that is there to walk alongside with you, to kind of be your best friend, to be whatever it is that you kind of need to be in that moment, somebody to just kind of bounce ideas off of. It's just good to have a second opinion, someone that is trained. You have to be certified to be a life coach and not just kind of jump into the program. You're able to go get your certification. You have to go through a variety of different hours, and then open up your business if you're doing it correctly. Some people kind of jump into it, and that's fine. No judgment there. But for those that have the certification, you're trained specifically on how to navigate, ask those hard questions, be able to kind of walk through that process with the individual and where they're going, what they're going through. Dig a little deeper from this just doesn't feel good. All of those different conversations are had as a life coach versus being a therapist. Sometimes you will have a specialist that is a life coach and a social worker, or a life coach and a therapist.
Yep.
And so when they have those traits, you're getting the best of both worlds. So it just kind of depends on what you're doing, what you're looking for, and what's the best fit for you.
Got it. And some of us have goals that we don't know how to reach. How do you work with someone who wants something? How do you start, right? I mean, to call you is a good start, but how do you work on a plan together? What's the accountability factor? How many times a week are you meeting? How does it work?
Well, it's up to the individual. Everyone is different and their needs are different. So when we're looking to get into the bottom of what that action plan is, sometimes people don't know. Sometimes we just know we need something different. We need to feel
Mm-hmm.
something different, but we don't have a clue as to what that difference needs to look like. So we kind of dive into that. Let's just dive in the middle. What's something that you would like to do differently? What's something that you would like to do more of? What's something that you need to include in your life to make you feel whatever? And we have those different conversations. Additionally, we have conversations surrounding what what those goals could look like. What are your strengths? How can we use those strengths to build on accomplishing that goal? How can we kind of look when you're waking up in the morning? What's the thing you're thinking about first? Are you thinking about everything that you have to do that day? Or are you waking up thinking, I am able to do this, I am enough, I am strong? And not just having those mantras to just kind of say it. You see that everywhere, but also saying it and creating the habit of, I can do this. I am enough. I'm just reminding myself that this is what I need to do to be able to move forward. I have to accomplish all of these different things today. And this is how I'm going to tackle it. How can we create a plan for that? Do you need to plan the day before? Do you need to plan that day? Just kind of diving deep into all of those different ways that we need to find where the goal is that you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes it's just a matter of shifting through the mess or the craziness, the chaos of what's happening in all of our lives. And sometimes some people know their specific goal. I need a different job. Okay, what do you need to go about to get that? What does that different job need to look like? What do you need to do to obtain the job that you're looking for? Do you need to go back to school? How do you incorporate that into your life and the things that you're already doing? We have all of those conversations. Typically, people can meet there. Sometimes they'll need to meet weekly, and then they'll go bi-weekly. It just kind of depends on where that individual is at and what they're looking for.
Got it. All right. Good to know. And how did you come up with the name Perpetual Butterfly? Could you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So perpetual means continuous.
Mm-hmm.
Butterfly is the symbol for evolving. So continuously evolving is what the name derives from, and what the goal we all should have for our lives is to continuously get better, continuously go where we're trying to go, and just evolve into whatever it is that we need to be so that we can bring our best selves to the table. Or if we're not having the best day, what do we need to regroup from that day? We're always continuously growing in whatever area we are, in whatever space we are in our lives.
Got it. All right. Ashley, what else did you want to share with your listeners today about your work as a life coach, how we can help them? Did you have anything planned for us today? Any guided meditations, or what did you want us to do today?
So, with one of the things I wanted to talk about was the gift of mindsets and how we're talking about holistic thinking. A lot of times, when you're thinking about mental health or you're thinking about mindset, you're just thinking that that is just it. It's just mindsets, but that's not necessarily the case. There's so much more to a mindset. It's the habits that we have. It's the way that we think. It's the way that we're affirming ourselves. It's the way we bounce back and forth from challenges. It's knowing where we're at and checking in with ourselves. We're constantly having those um, different things that we're doing every day, but how are you making sure that you're including yourself into your everyday task? How are you making sure that you are involved in whatever is going on, and showing up and not just kind of robotically going through the day? For me, it started out as just
Mm-hmm.
kind of taking walks. I needed to go out and breathe fresh air, and having that moment
Yeah.
of change of scenery, being outside of the walls, doing a lot of different things. How are we incorporating these small things into our lives to make sure that we're not only taking self-care, but we're self-aware of what we have going on in our lives?
And speaking of self-care, that's got to be something huge with your clients, right? Could you share a little bit about maybe some of the things we should be doing and to learn that self-care is not selfish, but some people think that is.
Absolutely. So, a lot of times, one of the things that I run into is that people that are by themselves, like, go out by yourself sometimes, go and take a trip, go out and do different things. We always want, of course, to be connected to someone, but sometimes that's not always possible. Go out and have those moments where you can clear your mind, be able to think whatever it is that you need to think, get to know yourself. A lot
Yeah.
of times it comes down to, do you even know who you are and what it is that you're looking for? How are you getting to know yourself? How are you able to cope? What are some of the things that you need? For me, when I go to a restaurant, I have to go and I like to have where my back is not seated away from, like, when the waitresses or the waiters are coming, just because I need to be aware of what's going on based off of my past and the things that I've dealt with. For me, it makes me feel safer to be able to have my back like against the wall or away, or in a way that I can see what's going on around me and be observant of that. So when we're processing and we're taking care of our everyday selves, we need to make sure that we're just kind of bringing our best selves, but making sure that we're incorporating the tools and coping skills that we need.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Again, let's remind everyone, Perpetual Butterfly, you're here. You do offer initial free consultation, correct? For 15 minutes. If someone's interested.
Yep.
And do you want to share some other success stories and guide us? Like, what other things can a life coach really help with? Think about it. There's endless possibilities, but give us some examples.
Absolutely. So a life coach does a variety of different things. We all have different niches that we focus on. So, of course, mine is self-care, awareness, um, and stepping out of your comfort zone and mindset. Those are the things that I focus on. But there are a variety of different life coaches that do that have their niches and focus on a number of different things. So when it comes to, some people just dive specifically into divorce, some people dive specifically into
Mm-hmm.
whatever their niche is, but also just kind of figuring out what you want to do. There's a world of wonder out there. We know that we all have a variety of different things, and our brain is wired to kind of focus and notice just kind of the negative and the things around us. A life coach helps you to be able to see whatever challenges that you're facing, and look at it in a positive way, but also to look at whatever challenges you're facing, and take it as a stepping stone to be able to move forward and progress throughout your day.
Beautiful. All right. And let me ask you, do some people use a life coach as a grief coach? Could that be possible to guide you during grief? And grief not just being loss of a person, loss of a job, loss of a life, loss of change. Could you share that aspect of it?
Absolutely. We grieve so many different things. People typically associate it with the loss of a person or a life, but we lose relationships, we lose friends, we grow and outgrow people. Not and sometimes it's not necessarily because they've done something wrong. It's just not a good fit for us anymore. And it's hard to be able to separate from those different things. When we're stepping out of our comfort zone, we're grieving that person that we were before, or grieving that person that has been through whatever they've been
Mm-hmm.
through and the hard work it takes to find your peace, the hard work it takes to move forward and obtain the goals that you're trying to do. You grieve those different aspects of yourself. How did I let that happen? We always want to know
Mm-hmm.
why, who, what, when, why, where. We want to know all of those different things. Sometimes we have to take the space to kind of grieve that we're letting this go, but also celebrate that we're walking and stepping into new chapters of our lives. So grief comes in many different forms, and facing all of those different areas of grief is absolutely important.
Got it. Now, has there ever been someone that you really couldn't help? You tried, and if it didn't work, why? What are some of the things that can inhibit us from allowing a life coach to work with us, would you say?
So if there are different, everybody has a good fit, and I'm not a good fit for everyone. Some people, and just kind of have to figure out what is a good fit for you. But also when we're talking about life coaching,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, therapy. So if it's more of this person may be dealing with psychosis, or they may be dealing with whatever a diagnosis that they may need, that's not what
Mm-hmm.
a life coach does. And so even if that's not a good fit, then I help transition that person to whomever might be a good fit for them. These are some different psychologists that you may be able to talk to. These are some different areas that you may want to look into to get it, and offer those resources and networks so that that person can still get what they need. Even if I'm not the best fit, we still want to get them where they're going and where they need to go and what they need.
Oh, that's always a good thing. We love it. And do you offer, how long is the commitment process normally? How long does someone need to work with the life coach to acquire their goals? And then do you still need to work with the life coach to maintaining it? Or once you get in the groove, you figure it out yourself? How does that process work?
So every situation is different, and so there's no definitive timestamp. But essentially, I'm working my way out of a job to working with that person so that they can come and they want to obtain those goals, and we work and put those different things together. But as we're doing that, they're strengthening and empowering themselves, and they may not feel that they need those different things. And there's a step down process of, we meet every week, and now we may need to meet biweekly or monthly, and then maybe just kind of do a check-in every quarterly or whenever they see fit. So as you go navigate through that process, it just depends on the person and where they're at and how much they feel empowered to be able to take on these tasks and challenges themselves.
Do you, as a life coach, get coached still?
Absolutely. I have a therapist that I see monthly, and I just kind of touch base with, and I'm able to drop balls or I check in and just kind of see. But I also have accountability partners that from professional networks or to friends that I talk with, like, hey, this is going on. I'm not quite feeling myself. Let me, are you in a safe space for me to be able to drop what I have going on? And we just kind of talk through it. So it depends on where I'm at, and what's going on. I want to make sure that I'm bringing my best self to the people that I'm serving, but I also check in and know where my self-awareness lies and what I need for myself to be my best self
And
for my.
how do you keep yourself the best self? You have to be the best self for yourself, but also for others. Is there any tips that you want to share with us?
Yes, one of my mantras is space, grace, and boundaries. That is
Okay.
what one of the household rules in my house, but just in one of the things that I go by in general. Take the space that you need. Understand that every space is not for you. Have the boundaries to say, no, that's not really a good fit, or that's not something I can take on, or I can do this, but this is what I'm able to do. These are the realm of which I'm able to do that with. So, and then offer yourself grace, like I was able to do that. I was able to accomplish that, celebrate those small wins along with the big wins. And even when you don't, understand that failure does not mean that
Yeah.
it's a terrible thing. How did I grow from that experience, and how can I get it right the next time? So I truly try to live by that.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this. And we still got 3 minutes left. So, in closing today, what else did you want to leave with us?
I just wanted to leave that I'm here. I'm available. Perpetual Butterfly is a judgment-free place. Additionally, up there, you'll find different resources for a variety of different networks that I partner and network with. So it's about go up there. There's a wealth of information on the website. There's a lot of different things that we can talk through. There's a variety of opportunities that I'm happy to celebrate and partner with you on doing and helping you to achieve your goals.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, for being here, and remind everyone how we could reach you.
Perpetualbutterflyab.org is the website. You can email me at abas@perpetualbutterfly.org, or you can go on to social medias. I'm Perpetual Butterfly on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here and looking forward to the next time we connect. Also great to see you face to face.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ashley. To all of our listeners, we appreciate you too. Stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.